All right, and boom, what is up, everybody? It's me, J-Rod, the filmmaker, former film major, frequent fighting gamer from Philadelphia. And this week, as promised, I wanted to talk about Injustice 3. Yes, I said I was going to do something for Injustice 3. It's been a while since I have been thinking about Injustice games, but with our announcement of the Mortal Kombat 1 Definitive Edition and confirmation that that will be the final content update for Mortal Kombat 1. We won't be getting any new characters or any new content for that game. A lot of people have officially been talking about what's next. Are we going to get Injustice 3 next? Are we going to get another Mortal Kombat game next? And personally, I would prefer an Injustice game just because we've gotten two back-to-back Mortal Kombat titles, and it's been quite a while since we've gotten any new content for the Injustice franchise. And Injustice was actually the series that got me into most of the FGC things I'm interested in now. It got me into playing more games. It got me into checking out the pro scene and watching tournaments for fighting games. And then eventually, I started with Injustice. I eventually went to Mortal Kombat. From there, I eventually went into Street Fighter, Tekken. Technically, I played Tekken before I played any of the other games, but I was very young when I played Tekken for the first time and didn't know how to take it, seriously and learn how to advance in the game. I was just having fun mashing those buttons. But Injustice is what got me kind of interested in learning how to do combos and how to get better, and which players to watch and which tournaments to watch to learn how to get better at the games. So in this video, I'm going to talk about some of the things that I want to see in an Injustice 3 game. We're not going to talk about characters for the most part because I already did an Injustice 3 roster wish list. So that was a while ago. Check out that video if you have not already. Still, it's one of the biggest videos on my channel. And if you don't want to go through all of that and find the video, here is the list of characters that I wanted to come to Injustice 3. There are some returning from Injustice 1, some returning from Injustice 2, and then some brand new characters to the franchise in that list. I do have a couple more characters I want to add, but in this video I want to talk more about how I want the game to play, how I want the game to look, what features I want the game to have, and then also a bit about the story and where I want the story of Injustice 3 to go for the future of the franchise. So without further ado, we're going to get into it. So yeah, this list is for like mechanics and features that I want to see return in the game. Starting off, I think a big question is, do I want this franchise to remain a legacy fighting game? If you don't know what that means, legacy fighting games basically, you think of Street Fighter, where whether you, also Tekken, Street Fighter and Tekken, whether you play Tekken 1 or Tekken 8, if there's a character in both games, that character will have moves returning from its first appearance into its newest appearance. Yes, they're like reanimated, they're redesigned, they have different properties a lot of times, but those same inputs and those same moves are still usable throughout the franchise. And Injustice 1 to Injustice 2, it was a legacy game where if you played Batman in both games, Superman in both games, or any of the returning characters, most of their moves carried over from one game to the other. There were some exceptions, like Wonder Woman was in both games, but she kind of got a redesign between Injustice 1 and 2. I would still consider it to be a legacy game and her to be a legacy character, but you can tweak your legacy characters if you want to actually play differently. I definitely want to see the game be legacy once again. I don't mind if there are some characters that need redesigns, and I would like to see a lot of brand new characters that bring something new to the franchise, but I do like the legacy aspect of the game because then players, specifically pro players who have been playing a specific character and have been loyal to a specific character from the beginning, can pick that same character up and already have a bit of matchup knowledge, experience, and just pure muscle memory knowledge with those characters so they don't have to start from scratch. Even though it is fun to see a player who was playing, say, Batman the entire time switch to a brand new character, like I would use Silvereye playing Hellboy as an example. He played Batman for most of the game, and then he picked up Hellboy and has become known as the Hellboy player in Injustice 2. Similarly, like Gur. I think Gur played mostly Bane, if I can remember correctly, throughout Injustice 1 and Injustice 2, but then once Adam came as a DLC character, he actually found a new main and a character that he became known for. So I do want it to be legacy, but I would like for them to switch it up with a bunch of brand new characters, new play styles, because that's how you keep the game fresh. But I don't mind if Batman plays the same and Superman plays the same. I do want to see these features return. Back to block. I want this to still be a back to block game, and the 3-button layout where instead of having Mortal Kombat has 4 buttons where it's left kick, left punch, right punch. Injustice has light, medium, and heavy, and then the fourth button is your character special. The character power system is really cool. It allows you to get a specific ability, and it could be anything. It could be a one-button projectile. It could be a one-button combo string, an auto combo string. It could be some sort of dodge. And I like that sort of anything goes with that character special. It can really take your character up from being a normal character to a top-tier character. But those features basically are good for separating Injustice from Mortal Kombat, or Mortal Kombat is not Legacy. They redesign it with every new iteration. It's not back to block. They have a block button, and they are pretty unique in the modern fighting game landscape by having a block button. And then Mortal Kombat has the 4-button layout, and Injustice has the 3-button layout. But I would like all of those things to stay so that the franchises are still distinct from each other. Some other features, Clash. I would love to see Clash return. I would definitely like them to take it up an extra step. But Clash is a really good defensive mechanism. It's a really good comeback mechanic. It's a really cool just cinematic moment where you get to take a bit of a breather from the fight if you're getting absolutely demolished. I would love to see Clashes come back and also maybe add some bonus features. Like maybe you can go from a Clash into a super if you have all of your meter. Or maybe you can force your opponent to Clash knowing that they'll lose and somehow double down on the amount of damage, or maybe just the damage that you take or the health you regain from a Clash segment has some sort of actual visual to it, you know, so it's not just we come out of the Clash and now I have more health, but maybe there is like a stock cinematic for you taking more damage or getting more health via the Clash system. So yeah, I would like to see the Clash come back, but I want them to take it up another notch. Their answer for getting in was the meter burn roll, and I would not like to see the meter burn roll return because I never saw it being useful ever at all for anyone from anyone. I've seen the AI do it maybe once or twice, but it's a lot of material and it doesn't really give you any sort of advantage except for the fact that you're close. You can get in with that meter burn roll and immediately get knocked back out to full screen and waste your meter. So meter burn roll is one feature that I don't want them to return, but maybe they can take push block and meter burn roll and come up with something new that meets you right in between. What type of new gameplay features would I like to see in the game? Do I want to see Injustice take on cameos from Mortal Kombat 1? No. I actually like cameos. So before you say cameo system was bad, I think it was really good. I think it was the best variation system that they ever made. And it was easier to balance because every single character had the same variations instead of just having one character really strong and the rest of the other characters can't compete. So I like the cameo system. I liked it for Mortal Kombat 1. It wasn't tag and it wasn't variations. It was somewhere in between. And while we have a lot of tag fighters coming out recently, the cameo assist was kind of unique to Mortal Kombat 1. Other games did similar things, but the way that it was handled in Mortal Kombat 1 was unique. I don't want to see it come to Injustice 3 because I want to see it remain unique and a unique feature of Mortal Kombat 1, but I would like to see Injustice 3 take on tag. I do want tag to come back. We haven't had tag in an NRS game since Mortal Kombat 9, and even then it was very underutilized and underrated. One of the reasons why we probably have never seen it again is because of how underutilized and underrated it was. So I would love for tag to return, and I would love for it to just be full-fledged, full out. I don't think it needs to be the core gameplay loop. I think that the main gameplay should still be one-on-one, and then tag can be another bonus game mode on top of that. But I do want it to be full tag in the sense that both of your characters are on the main roster. They have their full moves list available to them, and then they also maybe have some additional tag moves for when they tag in and out, similar to what could be like cameo assists, and then you use your cameo assist and then tag in, or just use it as an assist and stay with your point character. But I do want it to be full-fledged tag where you can go from character to character, and I want to see the really cool like synergy that creates between characters and the really cool combos that are created. Yes, it can be a bit to balance, but I think at this point NRS has enough experience with custom variations and cameos that they can balance it. Okay, so more of the cosmetic features and things that I want in the game specifically for like customization. And I'll start with gear abilities and legendary gear. I want to see gear abilities come back and legendary gear with their own unique abilities, but I do think it needs a bit of a rework. I want gear abilities in the game, yes. I want to be able to use them online and in online matches. Yes. I do not want gear stats, however. All right, I think that one of the problems with Injustice 2 is gear abilities were really fun to use, but you could only use them in player matches, and in player matches you also had to use gear stats. And that made it very unwieldy and made it easily unbalanced. I think it was fine when the level cap was at level 20, but when they added that update and changed the level cap to 30, then stats got kind of ridiculous. They got kind of outrageous. There's no way to really decouple gear abilities from gear stats in Injustice 2 unless you talk to the person you're playing and you both agree to use gear abilities but to not use gear stats. And the only way to do that was to use default gear because each gear had its own stats. But there wasn't a sort of balance where I could use whatever gear I want because I want my character to look cool and I spend a lot of time on customization. I want to also use gear abilities because I spent all my time unlocking those abilities, and a lot of them were really fun and really changed the characters, like Staff of Grayson for Robin being the best example. I want to use my gear and I want to use my gear abilities, but I do not want to use gear stats because then I have no control over whether, my opponent has like 4 health bars that I have to get through before defeating them. So I want to see the abilities I want to see the abilities come back, but I don't want to see the stats come back. I want to be able to fully customize my character without worrying about making them into a tank or making them into a damage monster or whatever. I want gear stats to just completely go away. I don't think there's any use for them, except for maybe single player. If they're single player only, cool. But if they have any impact on online gameplay, whether that's ranked or player matches, I don't want to see them at all. So we should get rid of gear stats altogether. I do want gear customization to come back. Yes. I do not want duplicate gear to come back, and I do not want loot boxes to come back. Loot boxes were terrible. Loot boxes were so bad. There are people to this day that don't have Staff of Grayson, and the game came out almost 10 years ago. I think that's kind of insane, and I think that loot boxes are a big problem because you're not guaranteed to get anything. I like what they did with Mortal Kombat 1. We're giving every specific palette a specific way to be unlocked, so that if you want that same palette you see someone else with, you ask them where they got it, you do the same thing they did, and then you can get it as well. No loot boxes, but yes to gear customization, and no to duplicate gear. Every gear I unlock should be unique. Another problem with the loot boxes, you're opening 1,000 of them and you're getting the same common gear over and over and over and over and over again before you get that legendary gear that you actually want one time. So those are some overhauls I would like to see to the gear system. I wanted to come back. I love the amount of customization they gave us with up to, what was it, 4 or 5 different gear pieces. You had arms, legs, chest, head, and then an accessory. I think that's how it went. But something like that, I would like to see it. Another thing, as I was playing the game, I was thinking that gear sets were a fun and interesting idea. I would like to see gear sets return, but maybe give them like, when all of the pieces of gear are separate, they have one appearance, but when you put them together to a set, then they can get a brand new appearance. Similar, maybe like even do premiere skins this way. You can unlock a premiere skin by getting a complete set of gear, and then it completely changes your character into another character. I think that would be really cool for gear sets. And the final thing I want to talk about is some game modes and features. What are we going to do now that we have what is it going to look like? What are the things in the bonus game modes to do in the game besides just going online or playing against couch co-op against a person? I want to see, maybe I'm alone in this, but I would love to see Star Labs missions return from the first game. If you're not familiar with Star Labs missions, they were a long list of mini games, essentially just mini games. Some of them were like the core gameplay, but you had like a modifier. Some of them were completely different, and maybe it was like destroying asteroids, flying around a Superman, or quick time events so that you could respond really fast and knock projectiles out the sky before they hit you. Star Labs missions were just fun, just something to do, something to occupy your time, a bunch of random mini games all put together with sort of a loose story tying them all together. I want Star Labs missions back. Maybe you can disguise it in some sort of like, maybe it's a crypt mode, but whenever you go inside a certain room, you get a mini game, or maybe it's a bonus mode of the story where you can play the normal story, or you can play story plus mini games. I don't really care, but I think that we like fun little side things to do. People loved kart combat. puzzle combat, chess combat. Star Labs missions, I think, was a great alternative to that for Injustice, and I would like to see them come back. The multiverse, which is basically like Towers of Time or Living Towers from Mortal Kombat, the multiverse returning, I think, would be kind of a given. I don't have any problem with the multiverse returning. It's another thing to kind of occupy your time. It is the core gameplay loop, so like you're just playing the game with modifiers and with stats and with bonus little things. So I don't think it takes away from the gameplay to do a multiverse. But at the same time, I think we're kind of getting tired of a conventional multiverse. Like Towers of Time was in Mortal Kombat 1, and most people didn't even notice it was in there until they came back and did an update. Now that everyone knows it's in there, still not a lot of people who even care about it anymore because we've had it in the past. So definitely find a way to spice the multiverse up, for sure. But I don't mind it returning as a game mode. And then I would also love to see a sort of Conquest mode. We've been asking for a Conquest mode in every Mortal Kombat game. And I would like to see one for Injustice because I think, we know the universe. We know the locations, we know the characters, and it comes with a lot of fun opportunities to do some things where we're flying to different planets or different multiverses or whatever, just to do a fun little 3D side-scrolling adventure. It doesn't take itself too serious. You can put a couple of mini games and a couple of fights inside the Conquest mode. But I think that we kind of want that exploration feature. That's why people miss the crypt so much. We miss that ability to just explore something, to walk around it, to traverse it. Invasions was okay, but it didn't give you the freedom of exploration. It gave you a specific track and a specific path, a grid to move along. I think we want something that's a little more open for exploration, and an Injustice version of Conquest mode, I think, would be that perfect thing. So that is everything for the features, for the new and returning mechanics, for the customization features, bonus modes, and other things like that. But now I'm going to talk about the story, and in order for me to remember where the Injustice 2 story left off, I had to actually play it. So I'm going to go ahead and play it, and I'm going to come right back at the end of the story. I'll mute the gameplay just so you guys can hear me as best as possible. But, so the problems I have with the story is, like I said, it wasn't cohesive. It was all over the place. And also, going from Injustice 1 to Injustice 2, Injustice 2 kind of abandoned a lot of the things that Injustice 1 was about. Essentially, Injustice 1 to me is about, it's like a Civil War storyline for Injustice. Basically, all of the DC characters have to pick a side, this side or that side. You could say good guys versus bad guys, right versus wrong, however you want to qualify it. But so in the first game, the lines were drawn pretty clearly. But in this game, even though they start off talking about those lines that were drawn from the first game, they kind of all abandon it in order to team up against Brainiac. Makes perfect sense. They work together for a few chapters against Brainiac. They forget everything they fought for. And then in this final chapter that I'm on now, it seems like out of nowhere, everyone remembers their sort of ties that they had, and they switch back sides to decide should they kill Brainiac or not. What I would like to see for the story of Injustice 3 is for those lines to be redrawn. I want there to clearly be one side versus the other. I don't really care who you consider to be the good side or the bad side. I think there should be some nuance there so that different people who play the game can relate to different characters on different sides. I think that's the important part, as opposed to just, oh, they are the good guys and they are the bad guys, so I should align with what's good so that I can seem like I'm good. I don't care if they have to completely redraw these lines and have a new event similar to what happened in Injustice 1 with Joker and Superman that causes different heroes to take different sides, or if it's like a draft and you got Superman and Batman basically saying, team up with whoever you want to join up with, and then we get these two teams that are in opposition of each other. This is going to be a multiversal story. It's going to involve multiversal characters. It always did from the very first one. While I know we have a lot of multiverse fatigue from other DC properties, Marvel properties, and then even just some other stuff, like the multiverse is everywhere, isn't it? So even though we have a lot of multiverse fatigue these days, Injustice 3 is probably going to be a multiversal story like the other two were. I would like to see them actually lean into that and do similar to what Mortal Kombat did and give us the worst versions of the characters versus the best version of the characters. so that we don't have to see Batman take one side and Superman take another side. We can see the good version of Batman fighting the bad version of Batman, and the good version of Superman fighting the bad version of Superman. And then they can get full creative liberty to what they think is the best version of each character. And we can get stuff like Absolute Batman versus the Batman Who Laughs. Take all of those, the best of the best and the worst of the worst, and pit them against each other for whatever this new story is going to be. Now, what should the new story be? I think it doesn't really matter. Like, it could be a version of Flashpoint where they're fighting. They can lean into Dark Knight's Metal. They can lean into the Absolute universe, like I mentioned. I think one of the easiest things they could do is to make it like a Crisis on Infinite Earths. That automatically brings together multiversal, many different versions of all of these different characters into one place to try to save their universes from the Anti-Monitor. That seems like the easiest way to do it. Crisis on Infinite Earths, so then you already know you're going into it with infinite versions of whatever characters you like and dislike. That is brought back to my attention just a couple minutes ago is that Brainiac, his whole shtick is he likes to miniaturize different worlds and planets and put them on his ship. I feel like we should be able to visit some of these worlds and planets that are captured, you know, be able to go to Krypton because we can go to the version of Krypton, Kandor City, that is like frozen in time in Brainiac's ship. Be able to go to Gorilla City, whatever environment we want to go to is all possible via this like sort of collection that Brainiac has. Some of the cities got saved and, you know, embiggened. Some of the cities are still frozen in time, but I think that should give the characters the ability to move through whatever world, whatever multiverse, whatever location, and all of that they want to go through. And then, like I said, I don't want this video to be about characters because I already made a roster wish list, but there have been a lot of characters to come after I made that initial roster wish list that I would love to see in this game. So a few characters that I want to get added. I still would like everyone who I said on that initial list, I still would love to see. I would love to see King Shark in this game. I would love to see Crazy Jane from the Doom Patrol in this game. Static and Beast Boy are like some non-negotiables for me, that characters I wanted to see in this game since the first one came out and we still haven't seen. So I want all that and more. And before you comment that Beast Boy is dead in the universe, I know, so is Green Arrow, so is the Joker, so is a lot of these characters that have already been able to return. So was Red Hood and Starfire at one point, but they just retcon it whenever they want to. I think that I would like to see Peacemaker in this game. Now, I don't want them to redo a DLC character, so I would like to see Peacemaker as a base roster character. But Peacemaker is actually a really cool get from the DC universe. I never had a problem with his inclusion in Mortal Kombat 1. Besides the fact that he was like really broke when he first came out, I thought he was a really fun, well-designed character. And I wouldn't mind seeing him in an Injustice 3. But then there's also like other new James Gunn properties. Creature Commandos is a great place to look for new characters. I think my personal favorite character would be G.I. Robot. I would love to see G.I. Robot in that game. He could be the new version of Deadshot and just be a robot that is also a gun. But I would also like to see, like, the Bride of Frankenstein would make a good character. Dr. Phosphorus would be cool. So some Creature Commandos rep, 100%. I would love to see some Creature Commandos characters in the game. I think that Invincible himself as a guest character in this game would be great, especially considering that they have a game coming out, Invincible Versus. I think it would be great cross-promotion to put Invincible in this game. We had Omni-Man in Mortal Kombat. We can have Invincible in Injustice 3. And I still would like to see the main guest character I asked for in that last roster wish list was Ben 10, and I still want to see Ben 10 in this game. God damn, I still want to see Ben 10 in this game so badly. Like, that is just an insanely good guest character, and I'm surprised that no one has ever done it. They haven't done it in Multiverses. They hadn't done it in Injustice 2. Ben 10 just seems like he would be a really sick get for a guest character and be really sick. Go ahead. Let me know which characters you guys want to see. I've seen a bunch of lists from my last roster wish list, and some really good characters on those lists as well. Like, I mean, obviously, we might not see a Marvel guest character in this game, but one can hope, and there could be some really cool opportunities, like a Doctor Doom or a Ghost Rider or something along those lines. I think I saw somebody ask for the Power Rangers in an Injustice game, and when I made that first list, or even when I first played Injustice 2, I probably have said no. But I think after getting the Ninja Turtles in Injustice 2 and how good they were as a like 4-in-1 character, the Power Rangers could be pretty sick too. And I'm not even gonna lie and act like if the Power Rangers were in this game that I wouldn't be in the customization making the absolute sickest Power Ranger design that I could make. So that would also be cool. Let me know who you guys want to see in this game in Injustice 3. But I think more importantly, let me know what you want to see in this game. How do you want it to work? How do you want it to play? What new features do you want? What returning features do you want? And anything else that you think could make Injustice 3 the best game that it could possibly be. Because I'm excited for it. But yeah, I think that's everything that I wanted to say about Injustice 3. What I would like to see for it, what the game looks like in my head. But I am someone who is, I'm just excited to see what we get, because it could be something else. It could be a game besides Mortal Kombat and Injustice that I might be excited for. It could be that Shaolin Monk sequel that we've been waiting for 100 years. It could be some more remakes and remasters. We do have Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection coming out pretty soon, so we really don't know what it's going to be. But if it happens to be Injustice 3, I would be excited for it, and this is what I would like for the game to look like. But I think that's going to be it for this one, everyone. That's going to be everything. This video goes up on Friday, and by that time, I will have checked out any new reveals that we got for Street Fighter 6. So check out my channel if you want to see my reaction to whatever we got for Sagat. Probably a new trailer and release date. The modern tag fighting landscape that we're getting in 2026 is one of the reasons why I think it's a good time for Injustice to go into it, become a tag fighter. With Marvel Tokon, with 2XKO, with Invincible Versus, I think it's a great time to be a tag fighter, and I think that Injustice 3 will fit right in with all of those comic book / anime tag fighters that are to come. I didn't even mention Hunter x Hunter, but I actually played that game and it's kind of fun, so I'm excited either way. I think that is going to be it for this one, you guys. But like I said, let me know how you feel. Let me know what you would like to see in an Injustice 3. And let me know, even if you don't want to see an Injustice 3, what other game would you like to see them make? And make sure you guys are subscribing. We are getting very close to 900 subscribers. I'm very happy where we're at now, but we can hit 900 before the end of the year, and I need you guys' help to do that. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for a 3-hit combo. And if we do get some sort of announcement for Injustice 3, definitely expect me to play the game, make videos on it, make streams of it. I'm going to be very excited, from the reveal event, whatever that has to be, to every character reveal, similar to what we did for Mortal Kombat 11 and Mortal Kombat 1. We're definitely going to be supporting the game with content. But that is going to be it for this one, you guys. Tell me how you feel. Let me know what you're thinking about this game and who you want to see in it. And I will see you guys next time in another new one. Peace out. All of that really fast. That might have been an overhead somewhere in there.
She was fucking died!
Damn. This is one of his sisters, I guess. And there are also, there's a brutality system. Okay, so that's like our little teaser of it there. There actually is a sort of brutality system in this game. I guess you could consider it, oh, emotes?